Hey, what is up guys? So there's a few updates here to the vote your own structure deck theme, and first we started off with like 20 themes to actually choose from, and it's been narrowed down to 10. But now we're actually looking into the top 5. So basically, as of the 27th, which I'm actually recording this today, or no, it's actually the 28th. I'm actually like not sure. No, it's the 28th today. It's about 1 AM right now. But at this particular time, we're pretty much into the top 5 now. But interestingly enough, within the top 10, Fabled was actually sitting at 8, and Phantom Knights and Burning Abyss was sitting at 7. But Fabled's actually managed to overtake the Phantom Knights, which was definitely really interesting. However, sadly, it couldn't make it into the top 5, so now we have to consider the top 5. However, now one thing I actually like to talk about here is Sacred Beast, which actually managed to overtake Madolche at number 4. So definitely really interesting because now Sacred Beast is sitting at number 4. However, steadily at number 1, 2 and 3 we have Shadows, Charmers and Trap Tricks respectively. And you know, they've been sitting at that position for long right now, but overall either one can easily take over the other. It just depends on how many people choose to vote. So between these 5 decks, I think Madolche might actually get phased out, seeing that Sacred Beast managed to take over. However, I do think that these 5 are actually pretty close together, so I think the vote actually still matters a lot. The Charmers and Trap Tricks, I've been told that it's actually very popular in OCG. So if there's enough OCG players, perhaps those two would have the potential to win. However, Shadows are very popular within the TCG, and as a result, the fact that it's currently at first, it kind of makes sense because there are, I think there is more involvement at least with the TCG players than there is the OCG players, but I'm not too sure about that. You will have to correct me on that, but overall, I would be pretty happy if Shadows actually got a win on this, but at the same time I wouldn't mind if the other 4 won as well, like Charmers and Trap Tricks and Sacred Beast and Madolche. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about here. However, if we consider when the recent support of each of these decks came out, perhaps that will actually give a good indication as to which one's more likely to get the structure deck. For example, Madolche, they recently got the new XCs in Glass Souffle or something in Dark Neostorm, so seeing that, it makes sense it was put at 5 because most people didn't really want to vote for it to win because they, you know, if whichever one wins will get a lot of great support for their particular archetype. So I guess it depends on whether or not people want to see that. Whereas Madolche, they recently got it and they're already a decent deck, so there's no need to get a structure deck for it, unless some people just want reprints for it. Sacred Beasts, it's definitely a very interesting deck, seeing that that's even considered at all. However, I guess people actually want to see some new support for it. They actually haven't got too much new support for a long time. However, they did get new support for their decks. It was just a very long time ago. As for Trap Tricks and Charmers, well, in Battles of Legend, Trap Tricks are getting a new link, so you know, it's not particularly going to make the deck amazing, but it definitely gives some playability to the Trap Trick deck. But overall, it's more so Charmers here, which currently it's not a playable deck at all, so the fact that it could potentially come back here or win this particular voting would actually make it a very interesting thing to see in structure decks, because the deck right now isn't playable. So I want to see how Konami actually takes on Charmers to make it into something that could potentially be a rogue deck, which structure decks typically fall into that category a lot in every format. However, like I said before, Shadows, they recently got support, I think in Flood, their particular Link monster, Shadow Construct, not to be confused with El Shadow Construct. It recently came in Flames of Destruction, so it makes sense that perhaps Shadows would also get some support as well. We don't know the particular votes of each of these 5 decks, so overall it's either going to be a very close match, or it might be already a really skewed match where Shadows have already secured their victory. But at this point we can't really assume that, because we don't know it. So There is going to be another small voting period, so definitely go vote if you guys still haven't, because you guys can still make a difference here on what particular themes can be played. The time is June 28th, 5 p.m. to July the 3rd, so it's going to be another 5-day period. This will be in Japan's time, which is actually, funnily enough, that's actually 1 hour behind Australia, which I'm currently here. So yeah, it's really awesome. But of course, tell me what you guys actually think and what you guys are hoping to win out of these final 5 decks here. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you next time.